I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning. Next is approval of today's agenda, but before we do that, we have a courthouse use grounds that I would table it this or remove until it's completed. There's missing.
Okay.
Be sent up.
So Lance, I'd make a motion to approve the agenda with the amendment to remove the application for use of courthouse grounds until a later date.
I will second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those carries. Next is approval of the minutes of 4/8/2026.
Motion to approve April 8th, 2026 minutes.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next is claims for payment.
Make a motion to approve the claims for payment for April 13th, 2026.
I'll second that. Actually, need to make a correction.
Do I have a second or not?
No.
Okay, motion fails for like a second.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the claims for payment dated May 13th, 2026.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded.
See that right out without even looking at that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Right on.
Lance, do we want to come back to the minutes?
Yep.
Okay.
I could entertain a motion to
Rescind.
or rescind's fine.
I'll make a motion to amend Renee's motion on the minutes to have that show as May 8th, 2026.
I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I gotta quit reading off the agenda.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Now is consideration to approve cost advisory services, Inc. contract for fiscal year 26, 27, and 28.
Lance, I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Cost Advisory Services for fiscal year 26, 27, and 28.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yep, this is contract that they prepared the cost allocation services for county governments, including ours.
As in?
The Title 9, or actually it would be Title 19 Medicaid programs at local health departments. And then everything else that conforms to Chapter 2 CFR Part 200.
Do you want to look at the contract, Donna?
I did, and I'm going, yeah, and
Okay.
what was that number?
It is, so the number 2 CFR, comma, Part 200.
I'll look that one over.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now I have is change of statuses for conservation department.
First I have is the hiring of Kate Miller as a summer resource tech at $20 an hour, effective May 11th, and the contract or services will be ending August 15th of 2026.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next I have is hiring of Abigail Itis for a part-time dispatcher position at the sheriff's office, effective May 18th at the amount of $22.09 an hour.
I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Next one I have is the hiring of full-time dispatcher at a rate of $22.09, Rayleigh Russell, effective May 18th, 2026.
I will second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next one I have is the resignation of Hannah Metz, a part-time dispatcher, effective May 8th, 2026.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Other business, I got next era resources. They want a presentation on repower.
Gonna get it, Michael.
Well, it's right, if you put that one down, it should be on the
Okay.
bottom of the screen.
I'm gonna shake grab Michael, because I don't wanna end the recording.
Hi. Morning.
Yeah. Thanks, Michael. Yep.
All right, Megan, come on up.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Megan Murphy-Sallier. I'm with NextEra Energy Resources, and I want to thank the supervisors for allowing me time to talk about what we are working on in the county and what we hope to bring forward. So first of all, I want to just take a moment and understand where we are in this moment in time. Right now, we have an aging grid, which was, built way back when. It's very expensive and time consuming to update. We also have a high demand of energy locally, so the cost and everything is going up. But what we also have, and what I'm going to talk to today, is a solution that allows us to add that battery backup for the grid. And so much like your 80s, 1980 alarm clock, you got it plugged in, but you also have that battery. So I want to talk a little bit about that and make sure everybody understands kind of what it is and what to expect. And where we are right now. So for your awareness, NextEra Energy Resources is an American-owned company. We develop infrastructure, energy infrastructure across the United States and into Canada. And we do all forms of energy. So the nuclear power plant outside of Cedar Rapids, the wind project at the south of the county, Garden Wind, and a number of other infrastructure across the state of Iowa, but also the country. So when we develop projects as a company, we take a lot of pride in how we go about that. We make sure we partner with communities, we listen to their concerns, we address them, and we make sure we find a win-win for everyone. So that is our process. In Iowa specifically, we have been active and investing in the state since 1999. We also have two very unique facilities located in Iowa. We have a generation repair service facility that takes wind parts from wind turbines, rehabs them, and then sends them back. We also have a renewable training center, which trains absolutely every renewable technician for our company in Iowa. They come here first, they get the training so that they know how to do their job effectively and safely, and then we send them out to all of our projects that we operate across the country. So this is that battery backup, battery energy storage systems. That is what I really wanted to make sure everybody had an awareness of and understood what we're talking about. So what battery systems do for the grid is they provide a little bit of backup, a little bit of flexibility in when you put the energy in and at what rate. So with operating wind facility, the wind can charge the batteries. And then when the demand is high, it can put it back. So all of this is regulated by the MISO, the Midwest, Mid-Continent Independent System Operator. That's the grid operator for the entire area. And what it does is it allows us to move through this point in time where demand is really going up with a lot more flexibility and assurance that we have the power that we need moving forward. So what it actually looks like is starts at the very basic, a cell of energy, a battery cell. Those are stacked into modules. The modules are then loaded into racks, which are that vertical, and then those are into containers. They very much look like a standard shipping container. They're a lot more high tech than that. They have a lot of monitoring systems. They have a lot of the ability to shut the power down automatically. And then they're also not entry controllable. So we have all of our technicians operate on the outside. They are preloaded and they come built so that they're just loaded on there, and it really helps with the safety of the facility. And then once we have containers, those store the energy from, in this case, the wind farm, but it could also be directly from the grid. And then it converts it into AC, which then goes onto the grid through the substations. This is a large facility, as you can see, it's located near a substation. And the nice thing about these is it is a relatively minimal footprint. So about 10 acres for 100 megawatts. And that allows 4 hours of charging, and it can power over 700 homes for those 4 hours daily. And then with that, we've got battery containers, we've got the inverters as well, and you can kind of see how everything's laid out very neatly. And we like to keep vegetation clear from the site. It just helps with maintenance and operations, and then it reduces fire risk. When it comes to operating these facilities, I talked about that local on-site control. So in the containers, we have real-time sensors. They are monitoring the temperature of the battery, the voltage of the battery. There are alarm monitors for gas. Any anomalies are picked up right away. And if it reaches a certain threshold, the system is designed to automatically shut down until a technician can go out and service the facility. And then as another layer, we have a renewable operations control center. And this center operates our renewable systems across the country, whether it's wind, solar, and battery. And any anomalies are picked up, sent to them. They can shut down the facility remotely. They can call out technicians to do maintenance, and they can also just troubleshoot as needed. Where we are right now. So as it currently stands, there is no path forward with Hardin County's zoning to allow for the development of this infrastructure and the investment in the county. So our hope is that an amendment to Article 20, adding battery energy storage systems would allow it as a conditional use. In that instance, it would go to the Board of Adjustment. We would provide an application, it would go to the Board of Adjustment, then the Board of Adjustment could stipulate conditions of approval, such as a road use agreement to monitor where and how the infrastructure comes in, sound modeling to make sure it's not disturbing any neighbors, and an emergency response plan, which we're going to do anyway. But if you that would be within their power to make sure that it's required of any developer. So why an ordinance benefits both the county and the developers or companies interested in developing this infrastructure is it can really drive a lot of meaningful economic impact for the county. It's a large investment. It brings in construction jobs. We'll have additional full-time employees, and it will increase the tax base of the county. What we're looking for is a path forward. And right now we don't have. So just to focus again on like, why do we care? The jobs are good paying jobs, good benefits. The local economic benefits, we're gonna see a lot of activity around the construction. We're also going to see an increase. We're gonna pay taxes on the property. But also I've made a point of really engaging the community and working with the Friends of the Libraries, of the 8 different libraries that we have across the county. The Calkins Nature Center, I'm really hoping to pursue some larger projects with them. We've given to the Iowa Food Bank. I'm hoping to support the county fair because it really matters to us that we are part of this community and that we invest in the long-term health of it. And that is my presentation. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, you said full-time jobs, how many full-time jobs?
There'd be 2 associated with the battery. We already have about 12 to 14 servicing the wind farm, both here in Hardin County and Story County.
And then I know you don't have the answer for this till the next week. Tax base, what you would be talking about.
Yeah, I am working on economic impact analysis that'll have a lot more concrete numbers that we can talk through. I don't have the results of that yet.
I have a question. I asked you this last week. You have a willing landowner, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and they're willing to put a proposed development on their property and everything, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Question.
Yep, Donna.
What would the cost to the county be?
Nothing?
0?
0. We would pay the application fee. We would fix roads as part of the road use agreement. We would provide all the infrastructure. There's no cost to the county.
Megan, you also said you had done fire department, some type of training with the Radcliffe Fire Department. Do you want to tell us a little more about that and how it was received and their concerns?
Yeah, so was that last month? We were able to bring our battery energy safety expert out to the Radcliffe Fire Department. And then the Radcliffe Fire Department invited a number of fire departments from around the area, especially their partner organizations, if anything were to happen, to provide some basic facts and talk them through what the process would be if there was an incident at the facility. It's rare, but not impossible, as with any facility. So overall, I think the presentation went really well. They had recently had a presentation about car batteries and how to deal with those. So this fed really well into that. They had a lot of great questions that our battery energy safety expert was able to answer. And Lance, you talked to Chief Raska, and I think it went well.
It sounded like it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he enjoyed the presentation from what I got out of it. Some of the questions that were asked, basically, if it catches on fire, stay away. We don't put water on it.
Right.
Let it burn. And by putting water on it would probably enhance a danger,
Mm-hmm.
not only to those people doing it, but to the surrounding area by emitting gases. Let it burn, and they just have to take care of the area around it to make sure it doesn't catch on fire.
Exactly. And the reason we really want it, no action taken, is that when it does burn, it's going to burn hotter and more efficiently. And then that takes care of a lot of the gases. A lot of the gases will burn off in that, and it'll be over faster. So it's really the most efficient way to deal with the situation.
Okay. It was mentioned that you already had 10 acres. What part of Hardin County, north, south, east, west, central?
So I really want to emphasize that right now, what we have is an idea of a project without a path forward with an ordinance allowing it as an accepted use, then there is no project. So right now, what I'm asking for is hopefully an amendment to the planning and zoning ordinance. And then we can get into the project details once we have that path forward. So that would be part of an application to the Board of Adjustment. But we are looking at adding it as adjacent to the substation for the existing Garden Wind Energy Center south of Radcliffe.
South of Redwood, okay.
I have another question, not to be a gotcha moment, and you don't have to answer if you don't want, Megan. I know that you're not a fire protection engineer, but one of the questions that is brought up often is, are these proposed batteries and their technology safer than what my mom and dad have on their lawnmower and plug in, in their garage, or what my nephew has in his scooter that he jumps the creek and, sidewalks and stuff like that and plugs in their garage. So that would be one of my concerns. What's the difference in the battery technology between the two?
Sure. I think, first of all, we have to look at like the scale that we are doing this as. It's not a one-off scooter. It's not a manufacturer coming out of whatever country it comes out of. We have very strict and controlled procurement policies. We make sure all of our vendors are held to the utmost standards in all of the technology. And it's also stationary, built in place. It's not being subject to conditions of
Like my
a
nephew.
12-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
So with that, we know how these operate, and we make sure that they are built to the highest standard. And the batteries that we use are the best batteries we can get. So there's a big step up in quality.
Okay. I think my last question, so if we were to create a path forward, what would be the mechanism to re-engage Chief Raska later on to make sure that they are properly educated and knowledgeable about it's truly a special hazard situation.
Mhm.
So what's the next step? Is what you did last month all you're going to do from them, or are you going to come back and re-educate, kind of like our pipeline safety people do on an annual basis, because of we have new firefighters and EMS and law enforcement? Are you going to do something again and then remedial training going forward?
So our process is, but this is just NextEra Energy Resources process, is early engagement, which we've already started, but then continual engagement. So as the facility is being built, we're going to want to make sure that they're aware of all the changes there. Before it's operational, we want to conduct in-depth, in-person training to make sure that, everybody has a good understanding. We provide an emergency response plan with all the appropriate contact information and procedures. And then we have the local technicians, and we can re-engage as needed annually. But the mechanism that you spoke about, that would really be up to the Board of Adjustment for whoever provides a battery to, if you want to add that as a condition of approval, that would make sure everyone does that, not just us.
Right.
These are lithium ion, right?
And I
That's
think it's important, can you go back to the photo of the phone? I think it's important to understand too, like, so if one of those catches on fire, like we talked about, I went to the training and rec. That when they do shut down, it's not gonna catch the next one on fire, it's gonna shut down in place. So the way that they have them set up and everything. It's not gonna catch the next one on fire, it's not going to be a repetitive thing that's going.
Not a chain
No, it's
event.
not gonna be a chain reaction, you're not gonna have the thermal runaway to the next container. It's gonna be contained to one. And not spread. So the way that they have it done, and then the radius around it, was really big for all of our partners that were there at that meeting. And then, one other person that we thought, or partner that we thought we would engage next time too, would be like our Waterloo Hazmat, who we partner with. As well, we would want to get them involved too, just in case we were to have, any incident next time, just to get, their feedback, their opinions. See if they have any concerns for next time, but yeah, Megan and I are meeting after this too, to talk more in depth about. Plans and whatnot, but yeah, they put on a really great training. Radcliffe Fire Department and the partners, mutual aid partners there had really great questions for them, and they were able to answer everything, so.
May I ask who you are?
Mackenzie, Emergency Management Director,
I'm sorry?
Mackenzie Burton, Emergency Management Director.
All right, thank you.
Is this kind of like that setup with the solar panels up by Hampton?
I don't know.
No,
I haven't,
No,
Is
I
it?
don't know.
Okay.
yet.
Well, I mean.
the one being
because
built right now,
no, there,
Okay.
we had to go up to Hampton and they got solar panels up there. I think it was Hampton. And cargo container type boxes like that.
I have not been to that facility,
They
it's
do
not
have one-
ours.
They do have
They're-
one by the.
they're building it at the corner of Eagle and
Yeah.
70th.
Okay.
They do
so
have one in that.
It's under construction, not done.
No, it's real small right now.
Yeah.
I was just curious,
Yeah.
like from the
I think-
road, it would look like, yes, it would look like that.
Yes. Yeah.
She knows.
Yes, Mackenzie said yes.
It's Hampton, isn't it?
It's by Bradford area. More so.
Well, Bradford's by Hampton, we were home there.
Okay, well.
All right, I don't have any other questions.
I got more of a statement than a comment on the Calkins Nature Center. It's really nice to have groups like these. Supporting, obviously the state's kind of hammering our counties down, our pockets are getting tighter. A lot of businesses move in and give us discounts on things or provide as much assistance as possible, but they've came in and offered large amounts of money. For projects, and not obviously just to county conservation, but to our other county groups that provide a large service to our public. We try our best to keep our programs cheap as possible because we feel like we shouldn't be charging the county, our county people, for programs that they pay us to put on. So it's nice to have groups like these where we can continue to provide these services and have high quality spaces. We talked about looking at upping our observatory, our bird observatory and our class of 69 arboretum, which is another locally funded group, and they're getting involved with that. So it goes beyond just us county conservation, but the class of 69 arboretum they're involved with now, and it's really nice to see groups like that come in and be willing to fund us, because it's just gonna continually get worse, tighten down on us as time goes on. Things get better in some aspects, but it's nice to have groups like these come in and be willing to support the community in a major way. So just 2 cents of appreciation for it, so.
All right, well, thank you.
Anything up here, I'm gonna.
What's that?
Step away carefully. Thank you, Megan.
Next I have is the hotel motel tax update and distribution.
Handouts for you folks.
Thank you, Deb.
The reason I'm coming before the board today is I wanted to go back to the fall of 2024, when we had on the ballot to, our rural county area that we would want to impose a hotel motel tax, and that did pass. So what was imposed was a 7% tax on the rural areas of Hardin County. So that's any like Airbnbs, cabins, motels, or anything that's in the rural areas. So what we thought was probably a small start has surprisingly in 25 and 26, when we started collecting these funds, has grown to now we're at the point of we need to look at those funds. So we are nearing at the end of this fiscal year the collection of almost $28,000 in revenue from these entities that are collecting these funds. And there again, those funds are being collected by those motels, Airbnbs, cabins, etc. And they're being paid by people that are visitors here. So people that are coming for our projects, our wind projects, our camp spots, our event centers, our funerals, truly, that is a true business. Believe me, we hear about it a lot with, when people come and stay, they're coming to stay here for a reason. And so it's great to be able to capture those dollars. One of the things that we were lacking in our economic development budget was the ability to market. Well, currently we're faced with a wonderful opportunity here as we talk about a new $6 million trail system that's going to be constructed in 2027. We just opened a wonderful new event center in Steamboat Rock that almost tops $3 million. The Iowa DNR is also doing the riverfront rebuild and expansion on the Iowa River in Steamboat Rock. So you're looking at an excess of almost $10 million of investment. And so it's very deserving of those projects, and to look at the sustainability of those projects in the future here, and that we are able to support through marketing and doing these type of things that is so deserving of having a good business plan, a good marketing plan, and using these dollars to be able to continue to promote our tourism. I think according to Travel Iowa, Hardin County is about a $22 million annual industry for tourism. So that's very impactful. I can't think of another business today that currently in Hardin County is having that wonderful of an impact. And so we do have a lot of visitors here. Our parks, conservation, over 3,000 acres of conservation land, the Iowa River, our state parks. So there's a lot of investment being done, and it deserves the attention of being able to utilize these dollars in the best possible way that we can. And as we move forward, I would also encourage the county to look at Iowa Falls. Iowa Falls is a very great example of using their hotel motel tax. They not only support local marketing efforts with their nonprofits, but they also assist a private business and industry with their hotel motel tax. And so they're a wonderful example of what can be done. And I congratulate them on their success over these last years. And we look forward for Hardin County to be able to do some of the same things. So a couple of things as we look at moving forward with the hotel motel tax, because with this collection of these funds over these last year and a half, we're going to need to amend the budget, because we estimated very low on what our anticipated revenues would be. And I'd like to make a recommendation that, of course, by law, the Board of Supervisors on the ballot said 50% of those funds would be used for marketing. They'd be used for improving and using for recreation. And so 50% needs to go to that. The other 50% is at the Board of Supervisors' discretion. So My recommendation is the first 50% of those funds for tourism marketing this year would be given to the new lodge with conservation. That's nearly a $3 million project. We need to send this project off with the best marketing possible. And I encourage conservation to leverage those dollars and hit it hard because it's so important with our investment. We're very grateful for the ARPA dollars that were given. Now let's take it to the next level and use these additional funds to help make sure that they get off to, a great start. The other 50%, again, is at the discretion of the Board of Supervisors. But I would like to make a recommendation with this first money out the door. I would like to make a recommendation because we're building this trail system and there's no plan in place for maintenance. We are not budgeted any county dollars for this trail development. Everything has been fundraised, grant writing, and given through private donation and business. And we're very appreciative of that, but we need to be forward thinking about how we can sustain, we can be good stewards of what we've built. And so I would like to propose that the other 50% of those funds be put into a permanent endowment with the Hardin County Endowment Foundation for River's Edge Trail. Those funds, there again, the details can be worked out if it ends up to be an agency fund or a designated fund. I know Tam's here today. We've had conversations with her, how we could work with the Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation. And those would be a permanent endowment. And hopefully, like I say, funds that would be spendable only on the interest that's made on an annual basis with that. And that it would, it would not be there'd be no access to dissolve that fund in the future, that it would be permanent. But most importantly also is I've had a great experience working with the Hardin County Endowment Foundation. And I've seen what locals can, what we can do and what's possible with individuals that are gifting and endowing money to projects. And if we don't have a vehicle in place where people can contribute, we're surely going to be passed over when that determination is made. There's could be another Wilma Meyer, there could be, the Schiller sisters, those are fine examples of people that are willing to give back to their community if there's a vehicle in place where they can contribute and something that they feel sentiment to. And that's what's happening here on a local basis. If not, we have a mass exodus of monies leaving the state of Iowa because the awareness is not there or a fund is not there where families can consider to contribute to. So I feel that that's very important. And I can't think of a better way to ask for the other half of the first dollars so that we can, once we build this trail, that there's something in place to help manage it. So anyway, that's what I have to say about the hotel motel tax. Like I say, this is a new gig for us, a new way to fundraise dollars and, help sustain projects without having to depend on tax dollars to do it. So I think it's a win-win. Do you have any questions?
I don't have questions. I have a couple of comments. So with the 7% tax being 28,000, that means almost $400,000 was spent in rural areas on lodging. So that's a big number. I couldn't agree with you more, Deb, that the seed money for the marketing on the lodge is going to be critical. And then the other $14,000, I'm betting that Tam can leverage 14,000 into something more, because I know for a fact that she can leverage dime into a quarter. So I really like that philosophy, and then it creates something that's long lasting beyond the lifespan of this board. So I do like the idea of that.
Okay, great.
I can fully agree.
I like the
Well
idea.
spent.
Oops, I'm sorry.
No, that's what.
I like the idea and understand this is just first year, so every board gets to choose the following years. But by setting up this, through the endowment, if they can only pay the interest, or they can only collect on the interest, it also helps the county because we're in it for 20 years for maintenance and repairs and everything else. And if this helps keep growing and people want this trail and they want to keep donating in that vehicle that you talk about, it is just the mechanism for somebody to donate to.
Correct,
I mean, I don't know if everybody understands that when you say the word vehicle, but
right,
it's a start, it's a beginning. It could grow well beyond us,
yeah, just you never know.
but it's for the people that what they want. But in the same token, just by starting this, I think it's a good year.
So anyway, so you're gonna be looking at the budget amendments coming up.
Yes.
Again, we budgeted bare bones, not knowing what the impact would be, but so here we are, you know, at the end of the year and looking at trying to expend these dollars, and what better time when the lodge is launching their project and they're having deep dives into their marketing efforts. In fact, I meet with them tonight to assist them with their marketing plan. And like I say, as you look at, you know, disposing of those other 50% of the funds, and Tam can make herself available, you know, as far as helping create this fund and get this completed, so.
And I think the endowment's probably the best place to put it.
Sure.
I mean, Hardin County
Right.
endowment.
Right, one of the things that, you know, we found in our first fundraising attempt when we're on this second leg is that, you know, the Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation has been a tremendous partner and a tremendous resource in our fundraising. But when we're out amongst fundraising events and individuals, you know, a Des Moines entity doesn't have as much sediment as Hardin County Endowment Foundation or Tam Ellerday, the director, or, you know, people, they could, you know, we have a local board. There are local people that represent the whole county, and so there's lots of engagement. I don't know that there's a day go by I don't talk to Tam or one of the other board members, and you know, and such excitement and you know, a better cause and a better position. And I've been involved with a lot of projects throughout my economic development experience, and you know, I've seen where people and projects are not well prepared. You know, you can build a $2 million pool, but if you don't have continual fundraising to continue to help support that, that's just one example. You're just going to need to be very, very proactive, and as dollars get and budgets get smaller, communities and individuals are going to have to be more creative to try to capture those dollars that are being gifted, continue to fundraise. There's a lot of success that goes on with fundraising in our county. I've seen it happen over and over and over. And you know,
One example,
you can talk
one
about it.
example of that is when the Hubbard community built their library. Their board was very adamant in starting an endowment so that they could be in a position to take care of some of the expenses down the road. And so that endowment has grown substantially, and their 5% distribution takes care of their utilities. So, but it's difficult, you know, people want to give to bricks and mortar, but to give to something that they can't see, that vision, the future, that's what we have to really educate people on, is what's going to be happening in the future. So that's one big example that I can see that they really look forward to that, so.
Yeah. It's very important. So anyway,
I think we're kind of unique too with all the resources we have here with the lakes and the trail. So that's something that definitely needs the maintenance kept up on it to bring people here, because you know, businesses kind of dwindle, and hopefully this could even entice some more business to come.
right. One of the other vehicles that we have is local option sales tax. And although the hotel motel industry does not collect hotel motel tax, but our small businesses do. And those small businesses, those cash registers ringing, those are the folks that are collecting the money. And we owe it to them, but because of their investment, to be good stewards, to help continue to help make them successful. And we sure like to see that local option sales tax in all of our governmental bodies, because it helps support our libraries, our sidewalks, it's all that other spending that we're doing. So more visitors, more local option sales tax, more encouragement to spend visitors to spend money here. So I just encourage you to continue to look at that as a positive, and that's all I have. So thanks.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Next I have is public comments.
Well, do you have time or do you got 9:30?
Good, go ahead, Daryl. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Oh, I won't take that long, I hope. Okay, well, back with our Minuteman moment. This is installment number 10. Remember, the declaration is comprised of 4 parts. Part 1 introduces the subject and why we're separating from England. In part 4, formally declares that independence. In between, we have part 2, which is America's fundamental principles of good government, and that's what we've spent several weeks on. And now we have part 3, a record of how England's form of government and conduct violated these American principles. So part 3 begins like this. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. Now, what follows in the declaration is a list of 27 grievances, most of which had already been chronicled by our founders in one way or another since 1764. In 1764, James Otis wrote The Rights of the British Colonies. In 1765, the Stamp Act Congress passed resolutions. In 1767 to 68, John Dickinson wrote a series of publications titled Letters from a Farmer in Pennsylvania. In 1772, the Boston Committee of Correspondence report titled A List of Infringements and Violations of Rights. In 1774, the First Continental Congress passed resolutions. In 1775, the Second Continental Congress passed a declaration of causes taking up arms. And in 1776, just 5 days before the declaration was signed, Virginia passed a constitution that their list read almost identical to the declaration. Now, these writings in the Declaration of Independence leave no doubt that fundamental principles and form are at the heart of all grievances and the basis for judging and rectifying government. To get the ball rolling, we begin with the first 3 grievances. 1, he, reference to the king, has refused his assent to our laws. 2, he's forbidden his governors to pass laws unless suspended until his assent can be obtained, and when so suspended, he's utterly neglected to attend to them. And 3, he has refused to pass other laws unless the people will relinquish their right to representation. In these first 3 examples, we see the defect of both England's form and principles. An unelected king abusing an absolute veto power over the colonial legislatures, extorting their rights to self-government, while the colonists have no recourse, violating natural rights, consent of the governed, and majority rule. America corrects these defects through the Constitution and the Bill of Rights by guaranteeing a Republican form of government, consent of the governed, with checks and balances on a president through elections and term limits, and the ability of Congress to override vetoes, and the ability of the people to peacefully seek recourse through their representatives and amendments to the Constitution without resorting to violence, convulsions, and revolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
No other? No, from there I can ask for adjournment.
Adjourn.
I will second that. Donald's.
Then move to seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.